Hey, on this week's HabNormals, I'm going to take a look at last week's games. I'm going to see how I did in my predictions. I've got my 3 stars of those games, and then take a look at next week's games and give you my predictions for that. I'm going to ask and answer 3 questions. One is about Caden Goalie. Is he injury prone? How necessary is Arbor Jack guy to have on the team? And then the final one, I'm going to ask you on the other side of this. HabNormal starts now. Hey, everybody. I'm Rick. Thanks for joining me for episode number 70 already of HabNormals. So the question that I said I was going to ask. So is there a goalie controversy in Montreal right now between Sam Montembeault and Jacob Dobish? Some people think so. I personally don't think so. I think it's too early in the season for that. And while Jacob Dobish has been playing well and is actually, I'm recording this on Monday afternoon before the Buffalo game. He's going to be starter for that game. I would have thought it was going to be Monty, and possibly it is Dobish because Monty's kind of not there yet. But I don't think that means that Dobish is going to split starts with Monty or take over the starting role from Monty at this point in the season. It's early. Monty's had 3 starts. In 3 starts, I don't think you can judge his whole season from that. I think he'll be given an opportunity, to find consistency in his game. While maybe Dobish takes an extra start or two, but once Monty finds his game and his consistency, I think he's right back to being the number one guy, getting 60 to 70% of the starts. Like last season, Monty played 62 games. He played, and that's a lot for a goalie. He played that. He had a good season, really good stats. His best season in a lot of areas, and he's done that. Dobish hasn't done that. We don't know if Dobish can do that. So I think once Monty finds his game, it goes back to the way it was, and. At best, I think Dobish is going to get, I think 30, 35 starts, right? But I think right now, is there a controversy? I don't think so. I really don't. It's just an early season, slow start for a goalie. Lots of goalies have gone through that. I don't think it's anything new. I don't think it means anything necessarily. If it drags on when we're in game 25 and it's still like that, that's a different story. Matt, who is not here today, of course, he'll be back eventually. He thinks that Jacob Dobish will take over the starting role by the end of the season or at some point during the season. I don't think so. I think Monty will find his game. I made a prediction before the season starts that Monty's going to be a top 10 goalie by the end of the season. Now, that may not come true, but I still think he's going to be a top 15 goalie. In my mind, I see him as that. Now, could I have foreseen a slow start? I mean, any goalie can start slow, right? I don't think it's anything to worry about. Like I said, if we're at game 20 and Monty still, his numbers aren't good and he's still can't find a consistent groove, that's a different story, but I don't think that'll happen. I really don't. I'm confident in Monty, and I really don't. I think maybe for some of the fans there's a controversy. I don't think for the team there's any controversy. I don't think Monty is necessarily on a short leash. He may be temporarily on a bit of a short leash, but I don't think so. I mean, he got us through the season last year. He played 62 games. What at time you couldn't not play him. Primo was his backup. How could he had to start, and I thought he did well. He's an NHL starter, and I don't think Dobish has proven that yet. And quite frankly, I don't think Dobish is going to be the starting goalie here necessarily at any point. I think that job from Monty is going to go to Jacob Fowler, quite frankly. And I think Monty's going to hang on to that for another the rest of this year anyway. And how much of the next season, I don't know, and going forward. But I think it's going to the baton is going to be passed from Monty to Fowler as far as the starter's job goes. That's how I see it. I don't see Jacob Dobish as a starter, so I don't think that there's any controversy here. And as always, like, let me know in the comment section, what do you guys say? You guys think there's a controversy? I mean, there's signs of that there could be, but we're 6 games into a season. I don't think 6 games into a season that you throw your starter to the backup role or even to a 1A, 1B thing. And like saying that that's a permanent thing. I can see for a short period of time here that maybe they will go back and forth. But even at that, I don't think they're going to do that. I think that depending on the matchups, depending on the games, depending on who starts. But I don't think Monty's going to, have this problem for a long period of time. I think it's just something that happens sometimes at the beginning of the season. I think any game now, Monty's going to show us the old Monty that we saw last year. A guy that makes spectacular saves, that can keep you in the game, that can win you games. The guy that finished top, at one point was top 5 in goals saved above expected. That guy is going to come back. So I don't think there's any controversy. This is a very tight team. They're very close-knit. They all play for each other. I don't think there's any – I mean, there's a natural competition between Monty and Dobish. I'm sure of that. But I don't think it's like anything that's going to cause any rifts or any problems in the locker room. I don't think it's going to cause anything. It's just something that happens at different points in the season, right? It could happen to any goalie, to any player to have a slump, right? That happens. If you're a starting goalie and you're having a slump, your backup might play a few more games than normal. That's probably what's going to happen here until Monty finds, his footing. Anyways, that's kind of how I see it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section about that. Do you think that Dobish is going to be able to take over for Monty? And are you confident that Dobish can do basically what Monty did last year, play the vast majority of the games and give you solid quality goaltending? And that's not a knock on Dobish. I really like Jacob Dobish, and I'm not trying to criticize him or anything. I just don't think he's going to take the net from Monty for the season and say, I'm the starter, you're the backup. I don't think that's going to happen. It's just a temporary thing. Dobish is starting tonight. He's going to start now 2 of the last 3 games. It doesn't mean anything. It's a small window. We'll see what happens. Again, let me know what you think in the comment section. So this is the question. I should put this up here, but is there a goalie controversy in the NHL? With the Montreal Canadiens? I mean, I don't really think there is. All right, so I'll go to the next question, and I'll do it properly this time. And that question is, I think I'll go with this one. Is Caden Goalie injury prone? Right? Caden Goalie is out 4 to 6 weeks again. As he seems to be every season at the beginning of the year. There might have been one, actually 2 seasons ago. I'm going to show his numbers here, but 2 seasons ago, he played 70 games. I think those missed games were at the beginning of the season, but I could be wrong on that. But it seems to me, beginning of the season or early in, Caden Goalie seems to get injured most years, and he'll come back and then get injured again, and you'll see by these numbers here. So you'll see Caden Goalie with the Canadiens, 44 games his first season because he got hurt. 70 games the next season, so he only missed 12. Then 55 games last season. And this year, it's 5 games in and he's injured. Now, it's not a huge sample size. So it's is he or isn't he? I don't even know how to answer that, to be honest with you. I'll be very honest with you on that. I want to kind of say that he kind of seems to be like he is at least trending in that direction, right? I mean, it's not Kirby Dach, who's literally, I think, every year from juniors on, didn't play full season. He was injured at some point to some extent every year. Now, that's definitely, at this point, you got to say that's injury prone. With Caden Goalie, it's not necessarily the case. He has played full seasons in junior, I believe. I'm going to take a look again at that. Let's see, Prince Albert. It's hard to tell whether he was traded or moved up. I'm trying to figure that out. But with Prince Albert Raiders last season of that, no, he got moved to the Oil Kings. I see that. And then the first two seasons or the second two, it doesn't look like he missed any time. So it just seems like it is at the end of the season in 21-22, I believe he had an injury. And then two for sure out of the 4 seasons after with the Habs, he's been injury prone. So he's like, I kind of don't know how to put that. That's not where I wanted to go. I think I hesitate to say he's injury prone because of that, but we got to keep an eye on that, right? We got to keep an eye on Caden Goalie. Is he injury prone? And is this going to be a regular thing? Now, the good part is Montreal's got pretty good depth on defense. As long as your team has that depth, then if he's out for injuries, it is not great, but you can handle it and you get by without a problem usually, as we did last season. But if your depth isn't great, and you don't have anybody to replace him in the top 4, it could be a problem. But Montreal is fine that way. I mean, Carrier can move up, Struble can play in the top 4. We've got Adam Engstrom in Laval, and there's another William Trudeau, I guess, in Laval. But we've got guys there. The depth is good. So whether he is or not, I don't know exactly. I think time will only tell. So I won't brand him as injury prone myself. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. But time will tell. And at least we have the depth to cover this. Right now, they didn't have to call anybody up because of the 2 forward injuries. Actually, there were 3, but 2 day-to-day ones. So when Line and Doc come back, we'll see a call up of either Engstrom or Trudeau, probably Engstrom, and so we'll go for But is he injury prone? I don't really know. I don't know. It was my question. It's not like I really saw this anywhere else. I kind of, when I heard that he was injured again, it's like, oh my God, this seems to happen every year. Is he injury prone? I haven't really seen other people talking about it too much because we all concentrate on Doc and whether he is, which he certainly is. So let me know what you think in the comment section if you think he is injury prone. I'm going to just be on the fence. That's all. I'm going to say I'm on the fence on that. I think we need a couple more seasons to see. And if this happens again, the next 2 seasons, then it's going to be definitely a yes. All right. So let me know down there in the comment section. And then I'm going to ask the question about Arbor Jacki, because I think it's really important. Let me do this. Is Arbor Jacki a necessity in a league with poor refereeing and players getting away with a lot of dirty shit? And I should have added on there a team like Montreal that is a little bit on the small side, right? I think we're still a little bit on the small side. At least let's say this. We got Lane Hudson. We've got another kid that's small coming up. I'm blanking. We got Gallagher. Carrier's a little on the small side. So is Suzuki as far as height, but his body, he doesn't play it that way. Neither does Carrier, to be honest. So a player like Jacki, because listen, he may be the toughest guy in the league, the best fighter in the league. He's one of them. So is he a necessity? Because we've had the controversy. Is he going to stay? Are they going to move him? Does Marty St. Louis like him? That a lot of people think that Marty doesn't. So is he a necessity? In my mind, he is. He is a necessity. Once you have a guy like that, it's very hard to move on him. Even though we do have guys that can fight. Struble's pretty tough. Matheson can fight. There's a number of guys who can hold their own and be okay. But are they Arbor Jacki? No. Is Arbor's brother Florian, if he gets here, is he going to make Arbor expendable? I kind of don't think so either. But to this question, I think he is a necessity when you have one. Because when you don't have a guy like Arbor, you're wishing you had a guy like Arbor. So then when you do have a guy like Arbor, don't you want to keep him? I mean, don't you want to keep him? I do. I want him to be here. I want him to be in the lineup on most nights, if not every night. Now, I don't want the team to have to carry him, though. I'm not saying that. I don't think the team should have to carry anybody, but I don't want them to have to carry Arbor. He has to earn his way. But I think Arbor will be fully capable to be a solid third pairing guy, maybe a sometime guy that sits depending on the game. You know, a guy that plays 65 to 75 games and prefer to be in the 70s. There's games when he's not going to be needed as far as his toughness. So, but there's going to be a lot of games where the way the NHL is going, with the way the refereeing is, and the way that teams there's still too many players that don't seem to care about their colleagues, their fellow NHLers, and do really dirty shit and get away with it. Now, depending on the team you're on, you might get away with it more than other guys do, right? So I think he is a necessity. And I know we may be split on that, because I know there are people that watch this channel that, are fine if they move Arbor. I mean, I'm not. I don't think they should move Arbor. I think he needs to be in the lineup more often than not. Let's put it that way. And quite frankly, I think every team needs a guy like that. Not to the extent like back more in my day, or was it the 80s, where everybody had a goon in goon hockey. And I'm not talking about goon hockey, because Arbor can play hockey. Arbor's not a goon. But I think every team needs a guy like that that's capable, and hopefully anyways, keeps the other team honest a little bit as far as, those dirty hits. I mean, look at that. It was a preseason game with Ottawa. Nick Cousins whacks Demidov on the forearm, right? That's because Arbor was out of the game. He wouldn't have done that before. He did that when Arbor was out of the game, because when Arbor's in the lineup, he keeps you honest, especially goons like that guy. So, in my opinion, Arbor Jackeye is a necessity to be on this team, and if they do trade him, right? And then, as soon as he's traded, you're kind of, again, looking for that guy, to add to your team. So why trade somebody like Arbor Jackeye, right? Make sure he's around. Even if, he doesn't play every game, and he's in games that you feel that you need it, right? And he only plays 60 games a year. But that's better than not having him around, because once the playoffs roll around, and I'm proud to say, at least for me, that I'm expecting playoffs this year, not hoping for. So once the playoffs roll around, you need that guy. So let me know what you think. This is going to be another quick. I have a feeling it's going to be another quick episode. I didn't want to take too long anyway in this one, because I'm recording it kind of late, and I got a game tonight. Buffalo is in town. And it's the last game of the homestand, by the way. So I just came up with a few things that I knew I'd run through quickly, but I'm really curious for everybody that's watching. What do you think of these questions? Is King Goalie injury prone? Is Arbor Jackeye a necessity on this team or any other team, but is a player like Arbor, and in our case specifically Arbor, a necessity for the team? And is there a goalie controversy in Montreal right now between Sam Montembeault and Jacob Dobish? Monty not playing great. His numbers aren't great. Well, the save percentage really not good. And then Dobish, who's doing fine. His numbers are good. They both played 3 games. Is there a controversy? With Dobish getting the game tonight, it looks like there is. But as I said before, I don't think so. But let me know what you guys think for all of these questions in the comment section Don't forget to give, and we're not done yet because I still have the 3 stars and all that, so don't go away. But don't forget to give a thumbs up if you're liking the show so far. And also, one last thing that I didn't really do, I'm going to do this here now, if you don't mind. So, as you saw, I was drinking from my mug. Our October Halloween promotion at the store, get 50% off our shirt of shame with every purchase of $100 or more. Use the code THBOZO50. That's THBOZO50. At that address, link there, that's on the bottom. It's also on the bottom of the screen through the whole show. You can also get the mug that I've got. I think there's 8 different kinds. Hat and mug made and shipped from Canada. So made here in Canada and shipped to you directly in Canada, especially now Canada Post is back on. And and there's all kinds of stuff there at the store. So check out the store. And thanks. Appreciate that and help to pay for the vet that I have to take my dog to and to feed my dog and cats. And believe me, it does help. All right. So where was I going with that? Yeah, let me know at the bottom there. And I'm going to take a quick break. I don't even think you guys will notice, but you'll see a different screen. And I'm going to come back with the 3 stars, last week's games, and my predictions for next week's games. All right. It is time for this. Habs 3 stars of the week. They're my 3 stars, my pick for the Habs 3 stars of the week. All right, so last week they played 3 games in Seattle. Versus Seattle. So they were home to Seattle, Nashville, and the Rangers on Saturday, Nashville on Thursday. They won 2 and lost 1. But who were the 3 stars from that week? I think 2 of them are pretty. One is definitely obvious. Number 1 is obvious. Number 2 to me is pretty obvious, and number 3 might be different for a lot of people. So my 3rd star for this week is where do I have that? So this 3 stars of the week. Let's go to here. My 3rd star this week is Ivan Demidov. Ivan Demidov had 1 goal, 2 assists. He had a goal and an assist in 1 game. The assist, the passes were fantastic. The thing with Demidov for me is I either notice him out there, like notice him for, he's doing fantastic things, making moves, maybe making a pass to set up a goal, maybe scoring a goal, or I don't see him out there. It is the weirdest thing, and I don't know if that'll last, but I don't see him or he's doing amazing things. So I kind of think, as time goes on with him, he'll just be always doing amazing things. And so he's my 3rd star. My 2nd star goes to Lane Hudson. Lane Hudson had 3 assists for the week. He earned the star just for the goal he saved to set up Caulfield. It was against, was that Nashville? No. I don't know if it's Nashville or Seattle. I'm just blanking on that. But, I mean, empty net. And who was it that took the shot? I can think of it. It was Marchessault. So that means it was against Nashville. And he stops the puck with his chest. And then immediately gets the puck, it recovers the puck, I guess. It falls. He gets it and sends a stretch pass up to Cole Caulfield at the blue line. Caulfield races in, fires the puck, and that's the tying goal to set up the overtime goal by Caulfield. But Lane Hudson has been doing Lane Hudson things. I don't think there's a sophomore jinx coming from him. He looks like he is going to be as good, if not better, this season. And he gets the 2nd star for this week here with his 3 assists and his outstanding play. And then I think it's obvious that the 1st star is Cole Caulfield. He had 4 goals. And in 2 games, the Seattle game, he had a goal early, and then he had the OT goal. And then in the Nashville game, he had the tying goal and OT goal. And he's also got 10 overtime goals in his career. The fastest, I don't know if it's the fastest Hab or the fastest anybody, but I think it's the fastest Hab to ever reach 10 goals. The other two that have it are Pacioretty, and you got to go way back to Howie Morenz. So Cole Caulfield obviously will own that number. Like, he'll own that statistic for a long time because he ain't stopping at 10, and he's very early in his career. So, yeah, Cole Caulfield gets the first star. His game, he rounded out his game. Like, his game is quite complete. He's not just a sniper. He can get back sometimes and back check and make plays there. He can make plays in the offensive zone, obviously, and he's such a good skater. Like, he's just, to me, a very complete player from a kid that we thought was strictly going to be a shooter. But Cole Caulfield, a lot more than that. Tied with Nick Suzuki for points on the team at 7 in just. Actually, Suzuki has 8 now. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but still, he's got 7 points in his 6 games, and just a great start to the season for Cole Caulfield. Will he hit 50? We'll see. All right. So next up is going to be this, because I was supposed to lead with this, but I didn't. I went to the 3 stars first. Last week's games that those 3 stars came from. We start with Tuesday's game, Seattle in town. Seattle, who beat us both times last season, who Montreal doesn't seem to play well against. Or vice versa, Seattle seems to play really well against Montreal. And I kind of thought it was going to be a test how they did against Seattle. We've got Seattle both times this season in the month of October. And let's see, it's an early test of their season. It didn't look good at the beginning of that game. It really didn't. Seattle just seemed to be taking it to us. And as always, Montreal trying to catch up. And it just didn't look like it was going to go well. And then I don't remember how they tied it up, but it was they you can't count them out. They're not out of a game that they're down by 2 goals at the end. They're not out of a game they're down by 1 goal. They're not, because they can come back at any time in a situation like that, and they've shown it already this season. And they did it here, and they came back to win an OT, and they passed the test. They passed the test for me. That was one of the tests, an early one, and they passed it against Seattle. A good game. It was a fun game to watch. It was exciting. Pace was amazing all the way through, and Montreal ended up coming out on top, so that's always great. Thursday's game was Nashville. Again, started off a little slow, and you thought maybe, you think whatever. They're struggling against Nashville, struggling to score. A team they should probably beat, although Nashville playing well to start the season. And then down by a goal, dying seconds of the game, and Lane Hudson makes that incredible save. And there were other guys that contributed leading up to that. I get it. But if Lane Hudson at that point does not make that save, I mean, that game's over. And Cole Caulfield doesn't score those 2 goals to win this game. But he does, and he sets up Caulfield. They tie it up. They go to overtime. And with 2 seconds left in overtime, Caulfield finds the back of the net for the winner. So another, it wasn't the most exciting game. It was kind of almost could have been boring, but the pace was good. So that kept it from being boring, I think. And then the third period, just the end of that game was just fantastic. So ended up being a good game. Now, Saturday is different. Saturday, the Rangers are in town. The Rangers not giving up a lot of goals, and not scoring a lot at home, but scoring on the road. So they're on the road, and they were scoring in Montreal. Just couldn't seem to really get it going against New York. Came down to the third period. They're down by 2. It's 4-2, and not. Are they going to do this again? Are they going to be able to somehow tie it up, or this is the first game of the season? Well, I guess kind of like the Toronto game. And they do. They get a goal to get close, 4-3, and they just couldn't put that tying goal in. So not the greatest, uh, not the greatest result. Originally, when I was guessing for that game, I like at the beginning of the season, I thought they would lose to the Rangers. So my original guess was right, but I had upgraded it to thinking that they would win 5-4. Did not happen. So I'm a little disappointed, but I mean, a 4-2 start after 6 games is nothing wrong with that. So I end up being 2-1, 2-1, excuse me, for my record, for my predictions for the week. And so let me know in the comments if anybody wants to let me know. First of all, who were your 3 stars of the week, and what do you think of last week's games? And in particular, are you worried about the way they played against the Rangers? Maybe I'm not really worried about it, but how about you guys? All right, so now we come to the last part of the show. The last part is my predictions for next week's games. We've got 4 games, including a set of back-to-back games in the middle of the week. Starts with the game tonight. I'm recording this, like I said, Monday afternoon. As a matter of fact, it's 20 after 5 right now. So if you're watching this early after I posted, you'll see that I didn't record it that long ago. All right, so first game is the Buffalo game tonight. I say tonight Montreal is going to win 3-2. Buffalo is playing well right now. They had a bad start to the season, and they're playing well right now. Is that going to last? I don't know. Tage Thompson, 1 goal for the season. They're getting scoring from like the secondary scoring right now, scoring on the power play. Their power play is great. Their penalty kill, 1 goal against on the penalty kill this season, and they've gotten a shorthanded goal, so kind of offset that. So special teams are amazing, and I think they're 3-3 or something like that, but they're playing well right now. So I think it's going to be a tight game, but I think Montreal is going to win. We beat them all 4 last season, and I hope Montreal is going to roll and continue to roll on that and beat them tonight. And like I said, 3-2. Next is Wednesday's game, and that is Calgary. Calgary is not playing well. They got 1 win in 6 games. Of course, I picked Dustin Wolf in the fantasy pool, and he's sucking ass. But Calgary is not playing well. They are at home. Will that help? I don't think so. I think Montreal rolls into Calgary and beats them 4-2. And then that's starting a new winning streak. So 2 games there. Let's see, can they roll on? Thursday, next night, back-to-back, they travel to the other city in Alberta that has an NHL team, and that is Edmonton. And in Edmonton, I don't think it goes as well. I think it's another close game. I don't think they're going to be in too many games where they're out of it at any time, but I think Edmonton prevails at home 3-2, and it's a loss. So far, 2 wins, 1 loss, and then they roll into Vancouver on Saturday. Vancouver, thank you, is not a late game for some reason. No, they're probably the 4:00 game on Saturday, and that means that 4:00 their time, their start, which means they're a 7:00 start in the East. So we've got them at 7:00, which is not bad. I'll take definitely that's okay, obviously. So in Vancouver, I think they roll in there and they get back on the winning track with a 3-1 win over Vancouver. Vancouver is playing okay. I think in 6 games they're 2-3-1. They're scoring some goals, more than they're giving up, but not a ton more. But Montreal seems to always do well against Vancouver. I think this is a better team this year, so I think they're going to go in there and beat Vancouver. 3-1 win makes the week a 3-1 week, and that's how I'm going with it. 3 wins, 1 loss. Let me know what you guys think. You agree? You don't agree? Where do you see them this week? What do you see for them this week? And then that's going to do it. Don't forget to, hey, check out the store, that link down there that I'm pointing out. Don't forget that. You can get 50% off of the Shirt of Shame with the code. And what else? And the code is THBozo50, just in case you don't have to go back and look for it. What else? Next week, I'll be back to do another one of these episodes. Hopefully, Matt will be back by then. And then don't forget, if you're seeing this early enough, check out the game, a hangout for the game, and we'll talk about that and have fun during the game and chat with, you don't have to watch the game alone. And that's it. Next week is another week. And next podcast, we'll see how I did this week, what my record is. And that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate it. Until that next week, stay safe out there. Peace out. And go Habs, go. 3-1 week at least. And that's it. Have a great week, everybody. You'll see you next week. And that's it. Bye.
Swagger down the street with your red lips and funky beat. You better hold your head up to the sky. I'm gonna roll with you till the day I die.